On behalf of Homes for Our Troops and a grateful nation, I'd like to give you the keys to your home. Welcome home, buddy.
We're gonna live here. This is gonna be our home.
Oh my God.
John, he might think he's building houses, which he is, in his organization, but he's doing a lot more for the spirit of that soldier. He's doing a lot more. He's rebuilding that spirit. He's giving that confidence back to that soldier to keep going. Not only by doing it to the soldiers pass that on to their families. And you try to get back to normal, yeah, without a limb, without an arm, without a leg, but you back on. And he does that for them, him and his organization.
Up next, find out what it takes to make these new beginnings possible for wounded veterans. And meet a Navy corpsman, soon ending nearly a year and a half of medical treatment and planning for the future with the help of Homes for Our Troops.
The guys we're helping are the most severely wounded. These kids that we're helping will have challenges for the rest of their lives. And, you know, one of the big things about, you know, the American dream is home ownership. And who better to, you know, give that dream of home ownership to than these guys who have sacrificed so much for it and will continue to sacrifice for the rest of their lives.
This is really an American thing, and there's certainly enough people in the United States that want to get involved in this kind of stuff, and we have to just keep reaching out to them.
Navy Corpsman Joseph Doc Worley recently became one of the service members Homes for Our Troops is working so hard to help. He's been undergoing treatment for about a year and a half for injuries he received in Fallujah, Iraq.
No, I know. I'm doing it.
On September 14, 2004, the Marine Infantry unit Doc was assigned to as platoon medic was on patrol when the lead vehicle was blown up by an improvised explosive device, or IED. Doc saw this happen from his position in the fourth vehicle. He grabbed his medical gear and set off on foot to help.
I get around 50 some odd meters away from the first explosion site, and boom, I get blown up. And so I roll over and I put a tourniquet on this leg, and somehow at some point while I was working on myself, or perhaps while I was laying there, I was shot as well 5 times.
Baby, when I stand up, will you push this chair up a little bit, because it's on the edge. It's on the lip, so that way.
Walter Reed hasn't been easy. With his wife George and daughter Abby at his side throughout his recovery, Doc overcame the difficulties and is now preparing to leave Walter Reed and move on with his life. And that change will be easier now that the Worleys have been introduced to Homes for Our Troops.
We can sort of have
through
a temporary
an organization called the Injured Marine Superfly Fund. They made contact with Homes for Our Troops, and you know, our name came up as you know, top of the list.
So now we know that we can still have our house and we can still have our life like we were going to, and this isn't really going to change anything.
Your daddy have that? Thank you. Give me 5. Someone who's come home and has had to deal with so much. Good fly. Being able to not have to worry about something like you know, where are we going to live from here on? How am I going to afford to you know, redo my house so that I can live in it? Or how am I going to be able to afford to live in an apartment until I can buy a house? You know, taking something like this upon themselves, it's lifting a huge weight off a lot of people's shoulders.
The homes John Gonzalez and the rest of the staff at Homes for Our Troops are buying and building don't come cheap. Thankfully, many supporters have jumped behind the cause to help spread the word and raise money.
This Homes for Our Troops remodels or builds homes that are wheelchair friendly or any type of handicap-friendly
Good.
homes that can help improve the quality of life of these soldiers. So we want every soldier to know how much we appreciate it,
draws, which are
how much we appreciate the freedoms that we have.
I'm amazed by their strength and their courage to come back from something, you know, very traumatic and come back to their physical environment that needs to be altered. You know, the way that they live and the place that they live needs to be changed, and to have an organization like Homes for Our Troops that can go in and, you know, be the catalyst for that change, I think is just, it's phenomenal.
And so we released it on the website as a single on all the profits. Every time one of you downloaded it, I wrote a check to Homes for Our Troops.
I know it's our episode.
And when word of an upcoming project gets out, whole communities also throw in their support.
We rely heavily on local communities, and that's really what makes this work. It kind of takes on its own thing as a community effort. It doesn't become something that's just, you know, Homes for Our Troops. Once we have the
there are
press
hundreds
release,
of people who send in donations along with
we'll
their
send
words
it out.
of support.
A lot of the letters people will say, whatever their view of the war is, supporting the troops, it's not a left thing, it's not a right thing, it's the right thing. And people do realize that, and I think it's great that people aren't going to let the mistakes of the past be repeated again.
my son's messy room.
But Homes for Our Troops
He's in
isn't
there
an
having a
easy
fun
venture,
time.
and there's always room for more support.
The best way for people to help is to go to homesforourtroops.org. That's our website. Because a lot of people have different types of talents. Some people may have construction talents, and we're always looking for that. Some people may want to just volunteer. We have people doing fundraisers all over the country, and that's a big help, because not only does it help raise money, but it raises awareness.
And they can come to our website and see what their dollars have done and what their time has done for us. It's on the website. The soldiers that we're helping, they're there on the website. They can see exactly where their money's going.
The bottom line is always money. You know, the more money that we're going to be able to raise, the more of these houses that we're going to be able to do.
Since John started the organization in 2004, Homes for Our Troops has committed to building or modifying homes for more than a dozen severely wounded service members, making it possible for them to set aside burdens that, on top of coping with their injuries, could be overwhelming.
Especially for those who have not established their life. All you know is the fact that you're in a hospital, in a wheelchair, on a bed, and you do not know what's going to happen tomorrow.
I think as a family member, as a wife, when you see your husband is injured, you're always, what is going to happen next with my kid, with my husband, what we're going to do, what is going to happen. I think this organization with the family, a peace of mind.
Having somebody like John and his organization come and say, we will try to do this, I mean, to me, that's very powerful.
Who could ever think that something like this could ever happen? I mean, it's just a phenomenal gift.
It sounds a little too good to be true, but turns out it was true, because here we are.
I think they're the greatest of what makes this country great. It's very, very humbling.
I think this is something that really needs to be there for veterans forever. If we as a country have a military that's willing to fight and die and suffer these kind of injuries, and they don't question it, I think as Americans, we need to step up to the plate. And I don't see any reason why we just can't make this happen forever.
Among the nearly 18,000 service members wounded in Iraq and Afghanistan, several hundred could not return to duty because of the extent of their injuries. They and their families have sacrificed so much. John Gonzalez and Homes for Our Troops is one of many organizations trying to make sure that sacrifice doesn't go unnoticed. See all the organization is doing to help our severely injured veterans, and find out more about how you can help by visiting their website, homesforourtroops.org. I'm Master Sergeant Daniela Marcus. This has been Recon.